All right, let's just jump right in. We spend so much time talking about what the future will be like, almost as if it's this thing that's just going to happen to us. But what if that's the wrong way to think about it entirely? What if the real job, our real task, is to decide what we want the future to be, and then, actually start building it? That's the huge idea we're going to unpack today.
So let's just start with that. Take a second and really think about it. When you look ahead, are you hopeful or are you worried? I mean, seriously, what's your gut reaction? Because your answer and why you feel that way, well, that gets to the very heart of the challenge we're all facing together.
Because let's be honest, for so many of us, the current feeling is that we're just drifting. It feels like we're caught in this massive, powerful current, and we're moving incredibly fast, but nobody's actually steering the ship.
And that right there is the central problem. Without some kind of shared vision, a vision centered on what it means to be human and what helps us thrive, we just end up drifting. Technology is exploding. It's accelerating at this mind-boggling pace, but that progress isn't automatically our progress. It doesn't by default lead to a better life. It just happens.
This quote from Tom Myers just nails it, doesn't it? Instead of us identifying our deepest needs and then creating tools to solve them, it's the other way around. New technologies are popping up and creating needs and anxieties we never even knew we had. We're kind of stuck in a loop that's being shaped way more by what's marketable than by what actually improves our lives.
So what does that feel like? Well, it feels like being pushed along into some future we never signed up for. It's this deep sense of powerlessness, like you're just a passenger on a ride to who knows where. And of course, that creates a ton of fear about what's around the next corner.
It's like we've outsourced the entire outcome of tomorrow. Think about it this way. A lot of us outsource our health to doctors and medication instead of focusing on our day-to-day choices. Well, collectively, we've done the exact same thing with our future. We've handed it over to tech giants and market forces, and we're all just crossing our fingers and hoping for the best.
Okay, so why does all of this feel so off, so unsettling? The root of it, according to the source material, is something called the Great Mismatch.
This is the absolute key to understanding everything. Our bodies, our brains, our biology, they are ancient. They were forged over millions of years for a completely different kind of world. But our culture? Man, our culture, supercharged by technology, is changing at a speed that our slow, ancient biology just can't keep up with.
Let's just break that down. On one side, you've got our biology. It's slow adapting, it loves rhythm, it's grounded in nature. On the other side, you've got modern culture. It's changing exponentially, it's totally techno-centered, and it often leaves us feeling completely disconnected. And this isn't some small gap we're talking about. It's a giant chasm. And the consequences, well, they're not abstract. They're things we all feel, probably every single day. This mismatch is the engine creating all the chronic stress, the deep disconnection from ourselves and from each other, that general feeling of unease, and yeah, the fear and anxiety that's tearing our society apart.
Yeah, to put it simply, we have gotten ourselves into a real pickle. The stress that comes from this mismatch just creates more disconnection, and that disconnection then fuels even more stress. It's a nasty downward spiral, and we're all caught right in the middle of it.
But you know what? Recognizing the problem is always the first step. The next step is to start asking the right question. A question that has the power to shift our whole mindset from being a passive victim to an active creator of our world.
And this is exactly why having a vision isn't just some fluffy, philosophical daydream. It is a practical necessity. If we can't even define what a better human experience looks and feels like, then how on earth can we build technology that actually helps us get there? We can't. So here it is, the all-important question. And notice, it's not about predicting flying cars or robot butlers. It's about imagining the quality of life. What would a truly ideal day feel like for a person 100 years from now? What would they do? How would they connect with others? What would bring them genuine joy and fulfillment?
Answering a question like that isn't just fun to think about. It is an urgent, vital act of creation. It's basically like designing the architectural blueprint for the world we actually want to live in.
And let's be really clear about this. This isn't about some abstract concept of humanity. I'm talking about your future, your kids' future. It literally depends on whether we have the guts to ask and then seriously try to answer this question.
So how in the world do we start? How do we begin this massive act of creation? Well, luckily, there's a roadmap. There's a framework for how to think about this stuff with real purpose.
The author gives this process a name, evolopsis. It's a fantastic word, isn't it? It means taking the wheel of our own evolution. So instead of being pushed around by random forces, we get to choose our direction. We start to evolve on purpose. Evolopsis works by looking through 4 different lenses, and they all build on each other. So first, there's introspection. That's all about understanding our connections to each other and to the world. Next up is retrospection, learning from our deep collective past. What has always helped humans flourish? Then comes introspection, that personal journey to really know ourselves. And only then, when you combine all of that wisdom, can you do the last one, futurespection, using everything you've learned to design the future we actually want.
Now, here's what's so powerful about this whole idea. It's scalable. The exact same principles you might use to design a better, more fulfilling life for yourself, understanding your needs, learning from your past, setting a clear vision, those are the very same principles we can use to guide our entire civilization.
So, as we wrap this up, I want to bring it back to you. Forget about 100 years from now for just a second. Think about your ideal day. If you could create just one thing, a tool, a new habit, a system, anything to help make that day a reality, what would it be? Because that's where it all begins. Creating our future doesn't start in some far-off, distant tomorrow. It starts with your answer to that question, right here, right now.